Aloha and welcome to the Lokomai Life and Missing Mondays. Yes, I realize it's not Monday. Surprise, surprise. And actually, this week, as I was on track to getting Missing Mondays out, a couple prayers were answered, and a number of the people that I've been looking at, actually my first case as well as my backup case, turned up found on the same day. And then when I started looking back at other cases I'd been following and all over the last couple days, I found a lot of people who actually were found, returned to families. And it was an amazing thing to see. The other thing, though, that I realized is in a couple of these cases, people were returned home because of social media. And that's something we all come here every day when we start up Missing Mondays or whatever. And we're like, we're sharing pictures, we're sending them out, we're hitting that share button, forwarding and all that. And you wonder, does any of this make a difference? Do the right people see this? And the answer is yes. Okay, it may or may not be this video. It's a video out there that someone has seen, a picture someone has seen. It's making a difference. We've seen that in cases like Gowdy and all, where people see something and it's like, whoa, something connects. So as I went through all this and I was trying to put things together on Sunday, I was like, oh, what about this? What about, okay. And I started looking through, and it was just such an amazing feeling to all of a sudden have the problem of, oh, the people I had researched, I didn't have information for anymore. It was an amazing feeling. But at the same time, there's still so many people out there who need to have their stories told. It's not 2 or 3 people. There's hundreds upon hundreds, thousands of people who need their story told, that need to be returned to their families. And we're going into the holiday season, one of the most stressful times of the year, yes, but it's a time of the year for miracles. It's a time of the year for people to come together with families. And, you know, it's time for some of these stories to come to an end. So I started noticing the more I looked, and I kind of mentioned this a couple weeks ago, that there's a lot of people that I'm recognizing are runaways. And because they're runaways, in fact, one of the people I was looking at was a young girl who had ran away about 2 months ago. And her mother got so frustrated because she felt like her daughter didn't matter because her daughter was not kidnapped. Her daughter ran away. So the police were not able to help on the same level that they would have if she had ran away. You can't do Amber Alerts. There's no real alert out there for this level of case. And yet, what is the most dangerous thing about running away? Trafficking. Human trafficking is such a huge concern. And yet we all recognize that concern, but we have not made that connection towards, let's find these kids before they get trafficked. Let's find ways that we can help them during these times. Because we've all been through adolescence. We've all been through those years. They're not easy. If we can all come together and do something. So what I wanted to do today was look at that. Look at a number of cases, okay? And I've got quite a few cases here. I have 9 or 10 cases, actually, that I wanted to introduce you to these people who have, in the eyes of the government, most likely, or legal departments, most likely run away. But they are very endangered, okay? The danger they're in during this holiday season, all seasons, they need to know what's going on and find ways to come home. We need to help them. Okay, we need to make sure that if they happen to be watching YouTube or Instagram, they come across their face and they're like, you know, I am loved. I am cared about. My family does want me home. Okay, and they really do care about me. They're going to all this. Unfortunately, there's a wide range of letting people know about stuff. Some of these people, I have one picture and that's it. Others, I have their full story. So, but every one of them deserved to have that story told. So I wanted to start today with a girl who actually went missing in 2019. Okay, and that is Alicia Navarro. Alicia actually has been missing since September of 2019. She was actually last seen by her mother. Her mother at around 1 a.m., she came down to get a glass of water. Her mom was downstairs waiting on her husband to come back from work. And this was on September 15th. And got her water, went back to sleep. Okay, everyone thought everything was fine until around 7 a.m. the next morning when her mom realized that she was not up yet. Alicia was still in her room. Her siblings were already in bed, out of bed, and yet she was not there. So she ran upstairs to check on her and could not find her in her room. At that point, she started looking around the house and everything for her and found the back door was open and there were chairs lined up by the wall leading out of their yard, giving them the idea that Alicia had climbed over these chairs to get out of the yard. There was also a note found from Alicia. The note said, quote, "I ran away. I will be back. I swear. I'm sorry." Couple things that were of concern is her laptop was gone. Alicia loved online gaming. And so she was known to be in chat rooms and things like that. Her laptop was gone. However, the chargers were still at the house. Also, one of the big concerns here is Alicia is on the spectrum. She's very high functioning on the autism spectrum. She had many different patterns that she lived by. She wore the same clothes almost all the time. Even in Arizona where she lived, she would wear the same sweatshirt all the time. She did not like being in public long. She loved McDonald's. She loved to go to McDonald's and have chicken nuggets. So all these things, there's this fear of what everything led up to. And so the concern is, did she get talking to someone on the internet in one of the chat rooms and that person lured her away? And she is currently with them. Her mom, Jessica, was quoted as saying that she's a sweet girl and she loves her and her family, and she loves to read and play video games. There is a serious concern that she is with a predator at this point, and important that we get her face out to as many people as possible. She would have gone with anyone because she's trusting them. And she does not realize, just when you get talking, we all know what that's like. We get talking with people on the internet and we forget, we don't know these people. And so Alicia herself, she's 15 years old now. Okay, so these pictures that you're seeing were from 2019. She has definitely grown since then. If anyone's had a 12, 13-year-old, a 15-year-old girl, there's a huge change in those 2 years. However, she did go missing in September 2019 from Glendale, Arizona. In 2019, she was 4'5" and she weighed 95 pounds. She's got brown hair and brown eyes. If anyone recognizes her, okay, even in this case where, 2 years, there might be a difference and you see someone or you've heard something and you're like, gosh, that looks, but I don't want to, just call. Just call. I don't think anyone would ever get upset at someone making a call and it being wrong, okay, because their heart is in the right place. These people, they want to have their kids back. They want to be able to spend time with them, the holidays with them. And, people do change looks. So if you see someone who looks similar, something's off or something, just call. The police department can look into this. Now, at the same time, 2 years, a lot can happen in that time. She may not even be in the Arizona area at this point. So this is going out to the whole country. This is going out to the world, basically. If you see her, please, please call. Next, I wanted to introduce you to Amira. Amira Shahid was another one. She left her family member's house at 1:30 in the morning on Sunday, the 28th of November. So this was just the last couple days. She was at the family's house with everyone, and when she left, there is a suspicion that she left with an adult male. There's no description of this male or anything, just that she may have left with an adult male. Amira is 14 years old and 5'5" tall. She weighs 130 pounds, has black hair and brown eyes. I mean, she's another one of those. I'm looking at the picture right now, and she's another one of those with a smile that does not stop. I love that smile there. She does have a scar on her forehead, and she was last seen wearing blue Nike shirt and dark leggings. So if you've seen, again, and I can't repeat this enough, these people may have gone missing and run away in certain locations. But with how trafficking works and things like that, okay, you're basically going wherever you can support yourself. And if you get trafficking involved on top of it, you're sent wherever you're sent. So wherever you are in the nation, please, with the number of people I'm introducing you to today, please share this out. Okay, let's get these 10 faces out as far as we can. If you have seen Amira or have any ideas on where she might be, please contact the St. Louis County Police Department at area code 636-529-8210. Our next person is Anthony. Anthony Luna is actually from San Antonio, Texas, area that I'm very, very close to. I had family there years and years ago, and well, still do, and I love the area. Anthony was last seen at Southwest High School. He was picked up between 4:30 and 5:30. At that point, no one saw him again after that. However, there was one more phone ping. The ping came at 2910 Gunsmoke Drive, Mobile Home Park. There is a family member here that lives at that location. These are the two pictures in the lower right of the screen right now under Anthony's name. His family member is there, as well as his girlfriend were in that location, and they owned a white 2005 to 2010 Chrysler Town and Country van, like you can see in the picture above. Anthony's mom, many of these people I came across as I was searching Facebook, and she was one of those. I came across messages from her, okay, that she's going all this time without seeing her son, and she misses him and she wants him home. And coming across those messages brings it to you that these are real lives that are being affected right now. And your heart just goes out to them. Anthony did go missing back in August 27th. He's from San Antonio, Texas. He's 5'11" tall and weighs 145 pounds. He's got black hair, brown eyes. If you have any information on Anthony whatsoever, if you've seen him in the area and other areas, if you've heard any information on where he may have gone after being at that other location, the Gunsmoke Drive Mobile Home Park, please contact the San Antonio Police Department at area code 210-335-6078. Next, we have Conor. Conor's actually not from the United States. He's from Toronto. And this was one that, as I came across, kind of broke my heart because of the fact that I, again, some of these only have 1 or 2 pictures and not much background on them. And I look at Conor in this picture, and he looks like a couple next door neighbors that I've actually had over my life. And he was last seen on November 24th. So at 7:31 p.m. Again, like I said, in Toronto. He was seen in the area of Booth Avenue and Queen Street, east area of Toronto. For those of you who might know Toronto and the area, that's where he was last seen. He was last seen wearing a black coat, black pants, and black Levi shoes. He's 5'1" tall, weighs 95 pounds, blonde hair, as you can see, and brown eyes. If you have any information at all, please contact the Toronto Police Department at area code 416-808-5500. Isabella Garnum. Isabella is another one that I kept seeing her face all over Facebook, actually. She was last seen around 7:30 p.m. on Sunday, November 21st. At that time, she was attending the Kids Escaping Drugs in West Seneca. She wandered away from the area and has not been seen since. There are a couple concerns I had with this as I was trying to come up with more pictures of her that I could share. One of the things I did for all these people is I try to find any picture I can. So, because sometimes people can look different, just depending on how you see them. And one of the things that I noticed very quickly that did concern me was this. There was a profile on modelmanagement.com for her. What really worried me is I saw her age there, 20. She's not even near 20. She looks it. But what worries me is when you see things like this, okay, and no problem with people, okay, modeling, no problems whatsoever there. But the concern becomes there are people out there looking for people. And one of the ways that many of these young adults go missing is they are stalked by people who try to be their friends, and then they connect with them, and next thing you know, they're gone. And when you have someone that's saying that she's 20 years old, and I'm not sure exactly how all that came about, but it was definitely a red flag that popped up for me personally. There's the difference, 14 years old. She's definitely, those of you, well, all of you guys, we've all been 14, we've all been 20. There's a huge difference in your coping skills and your ability to understand and read people at those two different ages. She has been missing since the 21st from West Seneca in New York. She's 5'7", blonde hair, blue eyes. If you have any information from her, okay, maybe you've seen her in the area, maybe you've seen her out on any of the streets. A lot of the runaways, they have to come up with ways of eating, drinking. They have to survive. You cannot do that by sitting in a room. You've got to get out there and you've got to find ways to make that work, whether there's a trafficking situation or it's just plain runaway and you have not been pulled into that. You've got to find ways. So many times we are going to see these people out on the streets while we're driving around downtown. So if you've seen anything, please call the West Seneca Police Department at area code 716-674-2280. This next case, actually, I had started by, I had come across Izzy Kring's information. And as I started pulling it all together, I realized this actually is a much bigger case. And I think there's a lot more involved in this case than I'm even sharing right now. Isabella Kring and Jade Innis, as you can see from this picture here, the poster, they both disappeared at the same time from the same high school. They were both last seen on, Monday, November 22nd. They both went to the Canyon del Toro High School in Tucson, Arizona. At around 4:15 was the last time they were seen. Izzy's mother commented that she's Izzy for short, She's really concerned because of the fact Isabel did not have money with her. She was not prepared for it. It's not like, okay, you go home. Okay, and if someone runs away, you hope they've taken money with them, they've taken their phone, the things that you would not leave the house without. She did not have any of that. On top of that, what is probably extremely worrisome for me is her phone was found in a trash can at the school. Extremely concerning to me. People have said, while I do not have a description of this, that someone had seen both girls being picked up by an unknown adult male. Like I said, I think there's a lot more going on with this case. This is November 22nd, so just about a week at this point. So things are really fluid with this case, but extremely concerning when you start hearing things about an unknown man picking up two young girls, and very concerning. And there's a lot here that I think is still due to come out. Isabel herself, Izzy, is 14 years old. As I said, she went missing on the 22nd from Oro Valley, Arizona, from the high school there. She's 5'2", 120 pounds, and blonde hair and those green eyes. I mean, the first thing I see when I see this picture is her eyes looking back at me. It's the first thing I see. And she looks like she's just one of those real sweethearts. And that's the thing with these two, they really look like amazing kids, really amazing kids. And Izzy's mom's another one of those. Same with Jade's, who I'm going to mention in a second. Both parents have been on Facebook trying to get the word out about them missing. The problem again is this. We're sitting here talking about two girls who quote unquote ran away, and yet there's also comments about unknown adult males. Is it truly running away if something else is going on here? Jade Innis here. Okay, I did look around for pictures. You're noticing too, the pictures that are more recent on what you're seeing here is the lower right with the mask around her neck at the time. Jade was also with him. Now, the police are extremely concerned about this. Like I said, something's not right here. Concerns become, especially in a high school group like this, when you're younger and in high school like this, that young adults get a phone call, they're on chats, they're talking to people. And we've all heard the stories. Oh, yeah, I can get you a singing contract, or I can get you a modeling contract, or oh, you're having problems with your family. I know you've got problems here. Come with me and I'll do. And that's the opening to something much darker. And those are some of the concerns that I can't help but get out of my own heart today with this. I'm really concerned about these two girls. Jade herself. Oh, sorry, I don't have the age here. I am so sorry about that. I will have to update that one later. But Jade is also from the same high school as Izzy is. She's 5'4" and 180 pounds. She has short, light brown hair and brown eyes. Again, if you've seen either of them, please give a call and let people know. There's a lot more going on in this case that I might actually do a little bit more looking into, just to quell some of my own questions, because as you read these stories, you do start feeling for the girls and the boys, because their lives with real stories, and it's not just someone you see on a TV screen. You want to know everything that's going on and see what you can do to help get people home. We're limited in what we can do, but we do have an amazing ability to hit that share button. And that share button has brought people home. There was recently a cousin and a little boy who were just brought home because of social media. It can continue. Our next person is Serena. Serena Folse is actually got a little bit more. I did a little bit more research in with her also, and there's a little bit of a history here. This, first of all, she was last seen on November 28th, family argument. We all know what holidays can be like. You can have family arguments quite often. I guess after the argument, she got upset and she left the building. She left the house. She was barefoot. She had no jacket on, nothing like that, and has been missing since. Now, a couple things that I have discovered in looking into her is, first of all, she has a history of running away. Back in 2019, she had I think it was a 10-month-old child, and she had taken the child and ran away at that time. She did come back, and they were able to find her and return her and the child safely. She has had some other issues, but you know what? And this is my thing. I don't care if someone's had issues in the past. They're still a person who are still in danger. And that's my concern. I don't care if someone's ran away 5, 6, 700 times. I don't care. They need the support. They need that ability to know they can come back, okay, and get whatever it is that they need, okay. And yes, there may be lessons they need to work out, okay, just because as we grow up, we have our own lessons we have to learn. And, but it's dangerous, okay. It is, so much can happen so quickly, and it's not what they expected was going to happen. So do you take someone off just because, okay, not share their story just because they've run away before? No, we still need to be sharing the stories and getting them out as much as we can. So Serena Folse, hopefully, I'm really hoping she comes home soon, because it does not look like the 10-month-old, well, it's now a little older, is with her, is with family and all that. He or she, I'm not sure. That's why I'm saying it. But they need what I suspect is their mom back. Serena is 22 years old. She went missing on the 28th of November from Jacksonville, and she was barefoot, no jacket. If you happen to have seen her, please call the Jacksonville Police Department at area code 501-333-6476. I want to thank you guys who are sticking with me through this whole video. I could have done a shorter video and broken this up, but I wanted to get as many of these people in as possible, and just share them out and hopefully we could get a couple of them home before Christmas. And so our last person I wanted, actually, no, 2 more people. First is Tiana. Tiana Miller was, according to her mother, okay, she went missing, and her mother's another one who's been on Facebook and really out there trying to make sure everyone sees Tiana's picture, knows she's out there, is missing her daughter. As you can see, both pictures, and this is why I try to get multiple pictures, they look totally different here. Yes, the face is very, very similar, but when someone does their hair slightly differently, they can look very, very different. Her mother has talked about how she had been receiving text messages from Tiana. She had been gone for, about a month at the time, and basically since November 6th, she has not received any text messages, if I'm understanding what I'm finding. And she went missing in middle October. She has also gotten word through, as we say in Hawaii, the coconut wireless, that she has been beaten up. So it's that story of, as people run away, they're not often thinking about all the things that could happen. They're focused on what is happening right now and how they think they can solve what is going on right now. And they have family that really love them and want them gone. And, when you go even one day without a family member, not knowing where they are they safe? Are they in danger? Things like that. It really brings to light what is important in life. And also, Tiana is 16 years old. She went missing on October 18th from West Valley City, Utah. She is 4'10" and 95 pounds. Blonde hair, green eyes. If you have any information on where she might have been, maybe you've been driving around downtown in some area and you've seen her, please call the West Valley Police Department at area code 801-840-4000. The other phone number on any of these people, especially because not all of these may be in the area, like I said, where they disappeared, just call 911. You don't have to come back and find a phone number or something like that. Just call 911 and let them know what you think you may have seen. The last person I wanted to introduce you to went missing on September 17th, and this is Victoria. Victoria Gonzalez went missing from Miramar, Florida. She was dropped off at the new Renaissance Middle School, by her aunt in the morning. Reportedly, she went to all of her classes that day and all, but when her family came to pick her up at the end of the school day, she was nowhere to be found at that point. Police do feel she did run away. The concern, though, is that her well-being. Where is she? Is she safe? Again, the same thing with all of these girls and guys. What is their well-being like? Are they safe? Are they eating? Are they being abused? Are they being taken advantage of? Okay, are they in control of their own lives? So police have made comments about how concerned they are for her well-being. She is thought to still be in South Florida and is logging into her Instagram, which is very good news. A lot of times with trafficking, the first thing they do is take away your phones. So that is good news, at least for myself. At a recent press conference, her mom and her father spoke to the press, and her mom, Sophia, said, quote, "We miss your eyes, your smile, your joy, your sparkle." And this was one person, as I go through this, there's certain people that kind of scream out to me. Victoria, when I saw her, she screamed out to me. And one of the things was that smile. It reaches to her eyes. If you look at some of these pictures, the smile it radiates through her whole face. And that is just representative of a person's heart. Yes, we go through rough times and but that heart is still there. And her dad, Enrique, said, quote, "I miss her presence." And I think that says so much for actually all of these families. Okay, yes, families fight. Trust me, families fight. Okay, mom and I, we fight. But that's the thing. I think as we're younger, we expect that's going to change. We're always going to fight. We're always going to fight. Okay, but you know what? Your family is so important to everything you do. And sometimes it's your biological family. Sometimes it's an adoptive family. But you know what? Your family, no matter which type of family, they always care and they worry about you. And a lot of times we don't know what we've missed until it's not there anymore. And that's what her father is saying in this. I miss her presence. Just having her around the house. Those are the things we forget about. So Victoria is 13 years old. She did go missing in September, on September 17th from Miramar. She's 5'2" and 226 pounds. Got black hair and brown eyes. Like I said, a smile that goes all the way to them. If anyone has seen her or talked to her or whatever, please call Miramar Police Department at area code 954-602-4000. Now, real quickly wanted to finish up because one of the focuses that I had in this was runaways. Every one of these people that I've just talked about have been listed as a runaway, even if it was someone else they took off with or whatever. Many times once you're a certain age, you're considered a runaway automatically. Okay, unless someone sees you fighting, not getting in a car, you're considered a runaway. But runaway is also something that I think almost every single person has considered at one time as a youth. Okay, it's something that we're all trying to become independent and stuff like that. And we're like, okay, what can we do and all that? So I did want to just mention, we talk about running away and we know these things, but it's just important to always remember this because it helps us see what is realistically in front of us. Okay, running away or planning to meet someone who is nice. And that's usually what is happening. I guarantee you 80% of these cases, they probably met someone and they're like, oh, this person's so nice. And, I'll just connect with them and take some time off and whatever, and then I'll come back. But then you get there with that person and they're expecting you to have sex, to do things for food, clean clothes, roof over your head, human trafficking, whether it's on a large scale, with actual organized places with rooms filled with 10 girls or something, or on an individual basis. Next, you run into this thing where you start talking to someone online and there's this chance you make a decision to meet with them. The only thing is you find out once you get there, they're not who they said they were. Okay, we joke about it all the time that, you hear about this person who's describing themselves as this 10 on a 1 to 10 scale, and you get there and there are 2. Well, you know what? It's not just looks. They can be different personality-wise. They can be totally not what they're, and they may not be planning on meeting you as that friend that you thought they were. And it's hard when that happens because then you start questioning yourself. And there's the risk as you run away of other people on the streets. Up to now, we've been talking about people that we had planned on running away with. Now, what about the other people out on the streets? The people that you might be competing with for food, for shelter, and that are not going to like the idea of competing with you. That may attack you or may sit there and realize they can get more out of you and take advantage of you for that reason. Next, there's the fear of getting cold or sick. We're going into the winter months, guys. Even here in Hawaii, I know it's hilarious, and most people laugh at me when I say it's 70 degrees and I'm cold. But you know what? When you live in areas, you get used to that temperature. And it can get, I was talking to one of my good friends last night from this area, and we were both talking about how chilly it was last night. This is that time of year that being out on the streets is extremely dangerous for getting sick, coming down with a cold. We've got COVID out there now. Anyone who's dealt with COVID and dealing with COVID when you don't have a bed or access to medicine like Motrin or Tylenol or stuff like that. People can get sick very quick when they get cold. You also aren't eating like you should be eating. If you were at home and all, you're not eating quite the same. And a lot of times that lowers our resistance to things and we get sick quicker. There's also the thing of once you're out there, you need to survive. And many times you're not okay with it. You have to do anything to survive. And we talk about that. What would you do to survive if it came down to, survival is the most important thing in the world. Most of us would do pretty much anything to survive. But that also includes breaking the law. You're potentially going out and you're having to steal so you can eat. You're having to do other things that are illegal just to be able to survive. And last, a lot of times when we're running away because we feel completely alone at home. We have no control. Well, once you get out on the road, you don't have any more control. You've actually got less control than you had before because many times the control goes to other people and everyone else around you. There's also more isolation because who do you trust now? Because trust is key to feeling lonely or not feeling lonely. And that is something a lot of times we forget about, that once you're out there on the streets, there really is not anyone you can really talk with anymore because of that fear. So as I log off tonight, I just wanted to share that and a couple different phone numbers for people if there happen to be anyone whatsoever out there who is a runaway or may be involved in trafficking. The first information you see up there, the 1-800-runaway.org, is an amazing site. I've actually got a screenshot there of it. For anyone who is a runaway or knows someone who is a runaway, there's a lot of support there. They had a whole class on working on boundaries during the holidays. Interesting subject. During the holidays, there's so many emotions coming up. And a lot of times that's why runaways actually increase during times like this. So go to their website, 1-800-runaway.org, or call them at 1-800-RUNAWAY, 786-2929. The next is if you or someone you know is being human trafficked. Human trafficking is real and it's dangerous and scary. Please call for help. 800 phone number, okay, 800-621-HOPE, 4673. Call them. Go to a police officer. Go in anywhere and just let people know you need help. We go into, I was just in airports, and in every single bathroom, there's a sign with phone numbers. Just go out. It's looking for those times that you can take that control back, because you have the right to be in control of your own life. And also, I want to thank all of you guys for staying here with me today. I know this was a longer episode than I normally do. There were a lot of people, 10 different people. Hopefully we can get their stories out and let people see who they look like. Okay, you see a picture, you start to feel their emotions. You start to feel a little bit about who is behind that picture. So thank you guys. Please help me out by sharing this. Hit share. Yes, subscribe and all that other stuff too. But in the end, share. Every week I'm trying to bring these stories to you so we can get more and more people have their story known by other people. And you know what? It does make a difference. When I go in there and I have two different people in my mind of who I can share their story with, and I find out both have come home, it makes a difference. What all of you guys are doing by hitting share and talking to friends about it and getting discussion going, it makes a difference. And hopefully we'll get to a point at sometime in the near future where we start looking at runaways and the danger they truly are in, and we start reacting to the word runaway in the same way that we react to the word abduction. That we go out there and we try to get them home and we try to get them safe, and we help them once that happens. And also, thank y'all so much. I will see you in the future, in future Missing Mondays. If you know of anyone, any cases that you yourself may know about, maybe someone, friend, family, whatever, or just some case you've heard about in your neighborhood, please let me know. Email me at thelokomilife@gmail.com or connect with me on Discord, Instagram, you name it. You can find me. And we can get those stories out and try to bring some other people to the public's view so we can all see them. And thank you all. I hope everyone had an amazing Thanksgiving. I had an amazing one myself. We've got Christmas coming up. Thank you all so much. I will see you soon. Thanks. Aloha. Goodbye.